This is section 8.2. We're starting two-step algebraic equations using rational numbers in both fraction and decimal form. In grades 7 and 8, we only used integers, like positive and negative whole numbers. But in grade 9, we start using fractional constants and fractional coefficients a little bit more. So you can see by the complexity of these equations, they're still the same process, just different numbers. So if we look at the first one, A, it says 2y plus a half equals 3/4. Our coefficient is 2, and our constant is a half. Using process, what is the first thing we're going to do to both sides? We're going to get rid of the constant, which means we're going to subtract a half from both sides. Everyone agree with that? Let's make a note of that. 2y will be left on the left, and over here, I've got to do some fraction operations to figure out the answer to this. So 4 is my common denominator. My equivalent fraction is 2/4. 3/4 take away 2/4 is simply 1/4. Now there are some people in this room right now, if I say 2 times what number is a quarter, they can get that right away. They would say, well, Mr. McDonald, I know that 2 times an eighth. If I double an eighth, I get a quarter. Right? But there's a lot of people that don't know. What am I going to do to both sides now, algebraically, to isolate y? I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Over here, I show it like that to get y. But over here, I'm actually going to show my divided by 2 like this. Right? Because I'm working with fractions. So 1/4 divided by 2 is the same thing as 1/4 multiplied by the reciprocal of 2. And Padme, what's the reciprocal of 2? A half. Once I change it to that, right, because 2 is really 2 over 1, the reciprocal is that, I'm going to get 1/8 as my solution because I'm going to multiply my numerators and multiply my denominators, and the solution to that is 1/8. All right, our second question, B, I'll just erase this here. Boom shakalaka. Our B says half of n minus 3/4 is equal to 2 3/8. Again, what's my coefficient? Don't say 2. What is my coefficient, Jack? How much of n do I have? Yeah. Half. That's called half. 1 over 2 is called half. Yeah, you can say the word half. We all know what it means. And our constant is negative 3/4. So I'm going to get rid of my constant first by adding 3/4 to both sides. I'm left with half an n is equal to, now I got a mixed fraction plus a regular fraction. I remember doing it. You can either add the fractional parts and keep your whole numbers. But I remember Mr. Mack saying, why don't you just change it to improper and just work with it. Just roll with it. Just do that. It's easier. Adding requires common denominators. Once you have that, you end up with 25/8, right? If you add those fractions together. Now we have a one step where we're going to multiply both sides by 2. I'm going to show it like that. N will equal the product of 25/8 times 2. Can we do that in our head? If you take 25/8 and double it, how many eighths would you have? 50/8. But I'm going to put my whole number like that. I'm still going to get 50 over 8, which is my solution. So therefore, n is equal to 50/8, which is equal to 6 2/8, which is equal to 6 1/4 as a mixed fraction in lowest terms.